Good afternoon. I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News, coming to you from our digital desk. We've done some digging on a story today investigating what appears to be a Northeast Ohio man's 20th arrest for DUI. This is the man in question, 75-year-old Spencer Blatnick. He was picked up May 2nd in Norwalk, that is just south of Sandusky by a few miles for your frame of reference. Again, arrested for his 20th DUI, obviously under a suspended license. When we look at the dates of his DUIs, what's interesting about this case is, okay, so you get picked up here in May of 2025. His last DUI was more than 10 years ago. It was back in 2012. And then you have to go back and look at the rest of these. 2 times in 2009, picked up in 99, 94, 93, 98, 2 times in 88, 2 times in 84, once in 83, 2 times in 82, 3 times in 1980, and then arrests for DUI in 79 and 74. As you can see, that is a pretty extreme number. A lot of these arrests, if not the majority, have taken place in Norwalk. We're going to bring in Norwalk's Police Chief Scott Dahlgren. Chief, how are you today?
Good, sir.
Let's talk about this latest arrest. Was leaving a Mexican restaurant, had a couple other people in the car, was doing 15 miles an hour in a 25. He speeds up, then he slows down. He's doing 15 in a 35. He comes to a stop sign. He rolls into the crosswalk when he stops. And then, of course, the officer finds that the plate is registered to someone with a suspended license. This is pretty extreme. I'm assuming you don't have any other 20 DUI cases.
No, I can't remember one this extreme, that many cases that they had in their prior. It is seen at times where you see a few priors over their kind of driving history, but this is pretty extensive, dating all the way back. And yeah, the kind of minor infractions that may not mean as much when you're driving, when they all of a sudden you add up a few of them, and it's 1:45 in the morning, it starts to raise the suspicion of the officer that's behind the vehicle.
And rightfully so. I believe he refused to take the field sobriety test. Did he blow? Do we know what he blew that night?
So no, he did start initially to take the test, but then to refuse. So there was no completed field sobriety testing that night. Brought back to our police station here where we read everything, offered him the opportunity to blow into the state authorized breath machine, and unfortunately he did decline to do that, so he was marked as a refusal.
Makes sense. Let's talk about just how dangerous drunk driving is. I think it goes without saying, but for someone to have 20 DUIs, granted they stretch back to 1974, I don't think that excuses anything, but this is a danger on the road to anybody else in Norwalk or anywhere else that Mr. Blatnick might travel to.
Yeah, obviously if he has this many over this extended period of time, it makes you question how many times he does drink and drive his car. It's probably more than that he just hasn't been caught. And drinking and driving, just any time is extremely dangerous. It puts you, me, every single person out on our public in danger, whether they're walking down the sidewalk and somebody swerves and hits them, whether it's, they hit the back end of somebody when they're parked or stopped at a stoplight, any of that kind of stuff. Your reaction time is just much slower when you're drinking. So it's something that, our officers are very cognizant of, that it's something that we, it's a zero tolerance policy with drinking and driving. So when our officers find you doing that, you are going to get arrested, and it's going to get handled appropriately as it was in this matter. But yeah, it is a danger to the public anytime somebody is behind the wheel when they're drinking.
And I don't want to get this too political for you. You're a police chief. You're just out there doing your job, enforcing the laws. Your officers are out there enforcing the laws. But at what point, and my viewers are watching this saying, geez, at what point is 5, 10, 15, 20 too many, and maybe something has to be done to lock a person up or to make sure that they never drive again. I'm not sure if you even want to venture into that.
Yeah, I probably won't venture too far, but obviously 20 seems very extreme in anybody's opinion, I would think. People, we've all made mistakes. We're all human. People do things, but at some point in time, yeah, there does need to be consequences to the actions.
And just for our viewers' frame of reference, I put in a call with the county prosecutor there to try and get an answer as to what happens next and when you get your 20th. And what's interesting for our viewers, there is a fairly new habitual DUI offender registry. We've all heard of sex offender registry where you can go online and look someone up. There is one of those for the state of Ohio. There's sort of an interesting caveat to be listed on this registry. You have to have 5 DUIs in the last 20 years. And when we look at Spencer Blatnick, he doesn't fit that criteria when you consider, okay, so he's just picked up. He had 1 in 2012 and then 2 in 2009. And then you have to go back to 1999. So he doesn't fit that criteria. I think he misses it by 1. But just interesting the way these are spaced out. Chief, I'm going to leave you with the final word here. You're out there trying to protect the community. What do you want people to know about a situation like this?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we care for our citizens just as we do our own families. We're out here, the public is who we serve, and we want to protect them and serve them to the best of our ability. It's, these kinds of things do happen. Like I said, people make mistakes. It's not a personal thing, but we do need to get you off the streets if you've been drinking and driving. And I would just really caution and say to you that in this day and age, there's taxis, there's Uber drivers, there's Lyft, there's so many other ways. And your friend, I'm sure, or family would probably rather come pick you up in the middle of the night than see you get arrested or, potentially a much worse situation where you're injured or somebody else is. So please designate a driver. If you can't, try and take a taxi, Uber, Lyft, one of those types of services.
Very good advice. Chief Dahlgren with Norwalk Police. We certainly appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, take care, sir. Again, just pretty extreme when we hear about a 20th DUI arrest. It's a conversation that needs to be had. I have reached out to the Ohio Attorney General's office. They're the ones who referred me to the county prosecutor. And so we'll take a look at what the county prosecutor plans to do in this case, or even really has the authority or the power to do through the Ohio Revised Code. If we have any other breaking news, it's going to be right here on our digital properties. Otherwise, look for our 3.5 hours of news to start in 2 hours on Channel 19. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. Be safe out there.
19 News is everywhere. Download our CTV apps and follow us on social media at Cleveland 19 News.
Chief, thank you so much for the time. We truly appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, anytime. And then as soon as we're working on trying to get it redacted, nobody had asked for it yet. So as soon as I can get it redacted for you, we'll send over that to your email also.
Hey, much appreciated. Thank you, Chief. You take care.
All right, you too. Thank you.
All right, bye.